Peter Veach, what a gentleman of the industry, and we are so proud to have him on board with us. And he's the only guy that's been to the Hall of Fame and then won the National Salesperson of the Year, and it may be a long time before a South Australian sales team or person are able to share that privilege. As for me, I got the Hall of Fame on community service on Friday night, which I'm very proud of, and even more so the fact that my brother Lou, as you've heard, took out the community service for 2011. And Lou, I didn't even realise had been doing as much work as he has with the homeless. So very proud moment for the TOOP family on Friday night. Now, the person who's made all of the awards and all of this happen for South Australia, and really the driver behind this, is not just the Real Estate Institute of South Australia, but there's always someone that takes a big part in that. And we have her with us here today, the General Manager of the Real Estate Institute of South Australia, Emma Slape. Hello, Emma.
Hello, Anthony. Thanks for having me on, and thanks for those kind words.
Yeah, well, Emma, it's they're well deserved. You set the awards up back in 2005.
Yes, 2005, seventh year.
Okay, you've been on our great debates. I think every one of our great debates, properties versus
Actually, I had to
shares.
call in sick once. I got gastro.
Oh, did you?
yeah, but I think Amy filled in. But yeah, I was there in spirit.
So you're not a new person to TOOP TV.
No.
But just very quickly, tell us about how you saw the awards on Friday night. It was a pretty big event.
It was a big event. We had winners from all over the state in every different area of real estate, which I think is just fantastic. What the awards are really about is recognising that customer service and over and above commitment that real estate practitioners make. It's just not about the numbers, but they are a large component too. So what the award recognises is real achievement. It measures community service, it measures the business planning, all those things that you analyse as a business to make things successful is what we look at too. So it's a pretty good look at what's going on.
Now, Emma, I know that awards are always a pretty hairy time because on the night you sit there and then there's always the debate, they shouldn't have won and we should have won and all that. That's what adds the adrenaline rush, doesn't it?
It does, you know, before everyone comes in on the night, we have a bit of a sly drink, I have to admit, and say, well, let's strap in and see where the night goes. And I suppose that's the hard part is you do want everyone to win, but I suppose the fact that people take it so seriously and it does hurt a bit when you don't win those awards does really attribute some value to it as well. So, yeah.
Well, we've won our fair share, we've won a lot, but we've also lost a lot, and losing's not great.
No, well, losing's not good for anyone, I guess, but you have won a fair bit, Anthony, so
anyway,
I think you should be proud of that over many years, not just this year.
We cannot complain. Now, the awards we've done, one of your major functions in the South Australian market is to be the commentary and the person following the market. So we've got real estate people watching, they're really interested in how the market's going to affect them. Give us a rundown, give us a snapshot of what's happening. Well,
the September data came in last week, Anthony, and I don't think there was any surprises in that data. We did see a bit of a backward movement in the median house price. So
what is, I mean, the median, there's all these different medians, so what is your median?
Okay, well, our median is based on all settlement data, which goes through the Valuer General's office.
Right,
so
Land Titles Office.
Yeah, we only go with government data because we believe that's the most definitive source. So we do got to remember there's a bit of a lag in that because we're looking at settlements. So what the data that's come in last week is telling us is what's happened over winter.
Right,
over
so
those settlements.
What is the current median price and what was it?
So the median price has dropped to 385,000.
Sub 4?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So it's the first time we've been below 4 for about 12 months, and that's down 4% on last year. One of the really interesting parts of the data for me, because I like getting down into the nitty-gritty, what
so
does
do
it all
I, by
mean?
the way.
Is the volume slowing, and I think that's very reflective of what agents right across the state have been saying for 12 months.
And what have the volumes done?
The volumes have come back to around 3,600 for the Adelaide metro area, which is from about 4,100 this time last year, and previous to that we're up around 4,800. So we're looking to close the year statewide at probably around 19 to 20,000 settlements, and the metro area will be around sort of 16 to 17,000 of that.
And we're down what? That's roughly 20%.
It's down 20% on what we were 2 years ago. So 2009, when we had that stimulus package boost, we found a bit of a flurry of activity. So that's volumes are down 20%, not value, volumes. We're down about 5% on the median price at that time.
Anecdotally, Emma, the prices are down a lot more than 4%. So how do you explain that?
Well, I mean, swings and roundabouts, absolutely. If you look at it suburb by suburb, and the Tyser did have that in the lift out too, and I think that's on the Adelaide Now website if your viewers want to go and check that out. There's highs and lows in all different areas. We've had a couple of suburbs that have done really well, but you do have to remember in quarterly data, we're looking at a fairly small sample size. So we might only be analysing 10 sales in this quarter and 10 sales from the same quarter last year. So there is a bit of room for that, but also we're seeing larger drops in some areas. So, you know, the data is very clear on that, and I think we really need to come to terms with what's going on in the market so we can move forward, really.
Can I test a theory with you? That the median price is the middle price. So for those of you that...
Yes, it's not an average.
The lowest price, the highest price, if there's 100 sales, sale number 50 is the median.
Yes.
Now, my theory is that the volumes of transactions have moved to the higher price. So there's more relative activity there than what there was than in the first home buyer range. So the median has been held up.
Yeah, I haven't had a look at that price bracket, but I understand where you're coming from, because what we do know is first home buyers are not very few and far between.
Except 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had a flutter of activity for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I think what the ABS stats on first home buyers have showed is as soon as we saw that stimulus grant come out, we saw the market in that area go down. Yep. So of course that affects the lower end of the market, and that affects the people in this bracket, and so on and so on. So I don't disagree with you that could be a factor, and it would be interesting to run some stats. So you might have set me a challenge there,
Good,
Anthony.
Great. Well, I think you need to, because I think that that relative activity is as important in following that median.
And I mean, also that first home buyer market is also where we see the investors, and we're not seeing a lot of investment activity at the moment. But looking forward, I did have a look at the ABS stats on bank lending, and we all know that the banks are predominantly the lenders at the moment, and we have seen 1% increases in the last 2 months there. Yep. So there's a bit of start of activity, and agents are starting to say they're starting to feel a bit of a different feel to the market too. So we're hoping that spring and summer is definitely saying goodbye to a fairly slow 12 months, I think it's fair to say.
Time on market.
Time on market average in Metro is about 55 days at the moment. The days on market figure cannot include things that haven't sold. And
so in other words,
it's an important indicator to think about, because if something's pulled off and listed with another agent, or it's withdrawn from sale, it's not in that count, because days on market can only measure the 2 definitive dates.
Right, so just to clarify that, days on market are the days of the agent or the person that actually sells the property from the day they list it, so it might have been on the market with 2 or 3 agents before, through to the day that they sell it. That's days on market. That's right. Which is quite skewed really, but at least it's indicator, and it can show movement. Yeah,
and that's the wording I always use, Anthony, is it's an indicator of what's going on in the market. It's not a definitive measure of what people should expect their agent to be able to sell a property in.
And we could go on for hours, but we'll come back in a minute. And we'll go through some more details. But in the meantime, let's go and look at some sold properties that are actually selling, because there has been plenty of activity amongst all this. Let's go to Going, Going, Gone.